As I said in my Magic Mountain video, I love Aero Mine Trains. What appeals to me the most about this particular coaster is the setting. For me, it's always fun to go over water and patches of grass and through trees, no matter what the coaster is. The drops on here look pretty good, and so do the turns. It looks like it pulls, I would say, pretty good lateral forces. Lots of straight track, but it still looks like a very scenic ride. But I would guess, other than that, it really isn't anything to write home about, and unfortunately I've heard this could be gone within the next couple years. Also, like I said in my Magic Mountain video, I haven't been on an Aero suspended coaster yet. Iron Dragon looks to be on the tamer side of the family that have been produced. The drops look shallow, which I really don't mind, but it doesn't appear to be as intense as others that I've seen. But you do seem to get a really fun ride experience with great views of the park. I've heard mixed reviews on this coaster. Some say it's rough, while others say it's pretty fun. The layout is nothing special, but it does look good considering its age. This will be my first Aero Looper. The one at my home park closed almost 15 years ago, and that was Python at Busch Gardens, Tampa. But based on what I've heard about this particular coaster, it can be either a hit or a miss. Again, this coaster doesn't look to be anything special. All of this coaster has going for it, from what I've heard, is its height. I've heard that the launches can be rattly depending on where you sit, and it also depends on how many people are on the train. I guess what I'm most looking forward to with this coaster is taking those twisted spikes at over 200 feet. This coaster, I hear, isn't as bad as some make it out to be. Based on the POVs and some off-ride footage, it looks to be a really solid B&M floorless. I've heard that it can be a little rough at times, but I've heard it's not enough to kill the ride experience. And another thing I've heard is that these inversions are pretty intense, which they appear to be from the POVs. And overall, this coaster just looks like a lot of fun. I'm really excited for this one. The only bad thing I've heard about this coaster is that it could be janky. But what do you expect from an old Aero coaster? I've heard the drops are great and that it has decent airtime. That alone makes me very excited for this coaster. And the dueling aspect just adds to my excitement. It looks overall like a very fun coaster. Just like with Gemini, I've heard Blue Streak can be janky but provides a great ride experience with a good drop and solid airtime. Based on the POV that I've seen, it looks to have amazing airtime with a good mix of floater and ejector. Wooden coasters are among my favorite models, and this coaster looks just outstanding. I'm very excited for this. I've heard great things about Valravn, such as good inversions and a decently long ride experience. However, I've heard the Vesper trains kill all of the airtime, but I like to keep in mind that dive coasters weren't designed around airtime itself. But with these unique inversions, such as that zero G roll and the dive loop, it looks like a very fun ride. I've heard amazing things about Gatekeeper, especially good things about the drops and the near misses. The wing over drop looks to have some amazing hang time in the front and great whip in the back. Unfortunately, I've heard the vest restraints also cause some discomfort, especially sitting on the brake run, and it also kills the airtime hill you just saw. But other than that, I've heard Gatekeeper is an amazing ride, and I'm very excited for this one. I've heard nothing but good things about this coaster, and that goes for the rest of the coasters on the list. I've heard both launches are intense, the airtime is great, and the rapid transitions are out of this world. I've also heard that the restraints are comfortable, and all that together makes this coaster one of my most anticipated. Raptor looks awesome. This layout looks almost as intense as Mon 2. The Cobra Roll looks fun, and that double helix at the end looks gut busting. I've heard Raptor is both smooth and intense. A friend of mine says it's not as good as Mon 2, which seems to be true, but I'm very excited to see for myself. Magnum looks nothing short of amazing. Out of all this ride has to offer, I'm most excited for the bunny hills at the end. I've been told that section is the best part of the ride, and it provides some of the best airtime in the park. I've also heard the restraints are non-restrictive, so I should get a good amount of airtime. Millennium Force looks like one of the best coasters in the state of Ohio. I've heard that the drop is spectacular, and the overbanks will cause you to gray out. The sheer speed and intensity of this coaster alone makes me want to get on it. Although some claim this coaster is forceless, based on what I'm looking at, this coaster doesn't look forceless at all. One word, launch. I can't express how excited I am for this launch. It's a hydraulic launch, so it's definitely going to be extremely forceful. With that incredible looking launch comes a 400-foot drop. I've heard this ride is 1 in a million, especially in the front row. This looks to be the perfect coaster. From what I hear, it's super smooth, has amazing airtime, and combine that with a long ride duration, and it is absolute heaven. I am most excited for the outward banked airtime hill, which you're seeing right here, which is right after the top hat, and especially that bunny hill finale. Besides the length, the airtime, and the smoothness, this ride looks to have really fun and whippy inversions. And especially that third lap of weaving through the structure, not being able to tell where you're going, is something I'm most desperately wanting to experience. There's so much I could say about Steel Vengeance, but I will leave that for a different video. Thank you all so much for watching today's episode. If you have an idea for a future video, leave it in the comments. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.